That mindful parenting is all about bringing awareness, attention, and curiosity to your interactions with your children, listening to them, reflecting with them, and choosing not to be too judgmental about their behavior, but rather to gently correct them and move them in the right direction. So it's about empathy, it's about respect, it's about
The
understanding.
journey has been beautiful because raising a child is like offering a prayer by the couple as a teamwork.
One of the fundamental reasons I'm what I am today is because when I was a 13-year-old, they looked at me as a 13-year-old, and while I'm a 21-year-old, they still look at me as a 21-year-old. So I think it's about renewing perceptions, as our beloved Matra would always say that the way you renew perceptions towards your child, like that means a lot to the child, and it builds the bond very, very strong.
Parenting does not mean just guiding the children on the general values, but they must instill in them the bhakti or the dedication to our land, to our Madhur Bhumi, our precious Bharat. And I hope that they will be able to do that.
The kind of help parents can give requires mindfulness in the sense of being attentive to the child, understanding the child, and being responsive to the child's needs, because ultimately the child's happiness should be all that matters to us as parents.
Jai Dharima. I greet all of you very warmly with all our heart. We welcome our audience. A very special mention. Today we are joined, our special guest is Sir Somnath Ji. Somnath Sir has joined us. He is the chairman of ISRO. Sir, बहुत बहुत मुबारक आपको, आपकी पूरी टीम को कि Chandrayaan has successfully left the Earth's orbit and entered the Moon's orbit. Very, very welcome. We welcome our guest parents, their lovely parents, very lovely, loving parents. We welcome Ajay sir, we welcome Praveen ji and the team of Lifeology and all our children watching us. I would request Mummy to greet everyone and welcome our chief guest today.
Honored guests and friends, it's a red letter day for us, for this channel and this event, Mindful Parenting. Who could be better than him? We have today Mr. Sridhar Panikkar Somnath, popularly known as S. Somnath, who's the chairman of ISRO. He's an Indian aerospace engineer and a rocket scientist in the Indian Space Research Organization. He's also one of the brains behind India's vision to land on the moon and took charge of the Chandrayaan-3 mission. Welcome, sir, to this program of ours.
Sir, your thoughts, sir. We very welcome you. Your thoughts, sir, on being here, on parenting, on Chandrayaan, on landing on the moon, sir. Your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me here in this program. I'm really honored to have very distinguished panelists here, as well as all those children who are listening to this program. My greetings to you all and greetings from ISRO, from myself. And we are making a great journey now. As you all know, the Chandrayaan is on its way. But that's just one of our tasks. Just for us, It is yet another mission. But I am very happy that it has created that type of enthusiasm and energy in the minds of the young people all across this nation and also the world, that India is once again trying to land on the moon, and we are hopeful of overcoming the problems that we faced in the last landing attempt and make it all right this time. So wish for all the best. We have done the work till now very well. I believe the remaining part of the journey will go very well. As already mentioned, I am working in ISRO, the Department of Space, as a secretary, and really honored to work in this great organization. The journey has been excellent. For a long time, I have been here in this organization in different capacities. To say it is almost 37 years plus in this organization, having a lot of experience of building rockets, launching them, and building infrastructure, mentoring people. It has been a great journey. Looking at the changed environment of the space sector, we are envisioning a new path for India in building the capabilities in technology, building the capability in Indian industry, looking at the young people who are coming into this domain as startups, industries, innovators, and seeing the great growth happening here. We are all very thrilled, and we are looking at how this can be enabled in the future to create really very vibrant space activity in India beyond ISRO, in industries, in startups, in companies, and then serve this sector in a great manner. So it creates more employment, it creates more revenues, it creates an ecosystem in India, which we can claim to be one of the spacefaring nation, no? Not just making rockets and satellites, but really producing systems for the entire globe, entire world. I think this is our vision, and we are working for it. I'm really happy to see that a lot of people are really interested to know about space. And whenever I meet young people, I always thrilled to hear, everybody wants to know about cosmos. Everybody is so keen to understand our planetary system, our extraterrestrial life forms. Everybody asks about the Big Bang, the evolution of the universe, the stars, galaxies. It all inspires young people. They are very keen to understand it. And I believe the space has this magnetic property of attracting you to that topic all the time when you talk about it. And this is something that inspires us. And especially for me, space is so inspiring because this technology and capability is the only capability that human race have today to escape from Earth, overcome the gravity of Earth, and make travel to other planets. Like the ships that Christopher Columbus had once to discover the new lands, the ships that we have today to discover new lands are the only rockets. And we need to make them better, make them stronger, make them sustain long duration for human beings to travel beyond Earth someday, create colonies and populate ourselves around the universe in other planets like exosolar planets. Because human beings, by their inherent nature, cannot remain only on Earth. This is our only planet, and this is the only place so precious to us. But then it must be possible for us to create similar worlds elsewhere. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe after thousands of years. But we must make that first attempt. And for that, we are working in space technology, and that is inspiration for us. In our generation, we may make a step today, and the next generation will take it forward to greater heights. As long as we are able to sustain and survive on Earth safely for the next few centuries, we will make those great jumps. And I'm very happy about this aspect, and I greet each one of you once again for this opportunity given to me.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you for your lovely words, sir. Thank you for your kind words, inspiring words. Our children are very excited indeed. Sir, a question coming to my mind regarding what you said. So when a spacecraft leaves the Earth's orbit, you create a very perfect, safe environment for the spacecraft to leave the orbit and take that flight. How important it is for us to create that perfect, safe environment for our children.
You are connecting spacecraft to a child. Really great, because the spacecraft came out of the womb of the rocket, and I felt always like that. The mother takes it to the space, it delivers it there for a greater journey beyond that point. I think that symbolizes the roles of a parent and the journey of a child. The rocket, by its nature, is very harsh. It creates such a troublesome journey in the early part of its life. And then once it is delivered at the orbit, it is such a silent and solemn place where it has an opportunity to expand and go and travel beautifully beyond the Earth's orbit, maybe towards Moon, maybe towards Mars or any other heavenly body. And that is all within the craft. The whole intelligence, the whole capability is created within the craft, provided that you have created the right type of environment right at the beginning. You have put the right type of software. You thought about the future in the beginning, then it will travel. If you made an error there, the possibility of it reaching the destination is very grim. So it's all about, the whole thing is about planning, executing, envisioning the future journey within the capacity that you have today. Possibly everything cannot be thought about. Something need to be found out in the course of the journey. The journey itself is so important. So we create some intelligence in the satellite to see the possibilities of a wrong thing happening on the course and how to make mid-course corrections or make amends to what we have already planned. So all these are part of the engineering design of the spacecraft. So it's the case of a child's journey through his life. Everything cannot be envisioned at the beginning, at the birth or the growth. But when the life hits you hard or tough sometimes, they must be able to handle it in a better manner. And it all because of the qualities that you have built into it that will enable them to make those choices and make those corrections. So you said it very correctly, connecting these two.
Soma sir, I have a question on behalf of the parents and children. With ISRO's remarkable achievements and its peak of popularity in scientific advancements, it is very evident that the organization attracts numerous talented individuals. Considering the competitive nature of the entrance curriculum, we are curious to know how challenging it is to select the right candidates for the diverse roles at ISRO. Could you shed some light on the selection process and the criteria, please?
See, we select people from various routes. I think we conduct an all-India examination. I'm talking about scientists and engineers. There are other types of people who gets in. But for them, we conduct an all-India examination. Typically for a vacancy position of just 100, we get 1.5 applicants, 1.5 lakh. And we conduct an all-India examination. And based on that, we shortlist some number of people and then conduct interviews and select for this organization. So scientists, engineers come through that path, and that is typically 100 per year. Then we have our own institute called Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. We train them in the graduate level. They are at the IIT level entrance examination through JEE, they get in. And once they are qualified, they have the privilege of getting in ISRO, provided they secure certain level of academic qualifications and marks. We also recruit from open market in the master's and PhD level. That is an open recruitment, mostly done at IITs and premier institutes. And we also laterally hire people from various other positions. And there are, of course, administrative positions, which again is recruited through competitive examinations and written test, and also technician examinations and things like that. So as we see, there is a huge amount of interest in people to join ISRO, and there are competitive examination training centers running to people to get into ISRO. But the biggest challenge today we are facing is primarily coming from the organization and the nature of the organization primarily being a governmental organization. So this ISRO is nothing but a department of government of India, and the type of the career growth, the remuneration, etc., are on with the government type of organization that can provide, not like a corporate organization. So in a typical governmental organization, the way in which people can be inspired to create the type of work environment is really challenging, as you know. So, and also the type of remuneration or the rewards that you can pay to them are also not high as much as you do in a corporate environment. This creates certain after joining problems in people. Of course, their aspirations are high. For example, they want to do higher studies. They want to go through career growth. They would like to become entrepreneurs. They would like to have financially much better conditions than what their equivalent colleagues have in corporate world, because all of them are bright people having great opportunity. This is a big challenge today. So retention can become a problem for certain class of people, but not all of them. So we handle this problem through different issues, like different processes, like creating an inspirational environment in the organization for them to do wonderful things, which they will never ever be able to do in a different type of environment. So once you are seeing part of the whole journey, doing things for this nation, doing things which are very unique, they get inspired and stay with us. And this is the only way we can keep people in a government organization, not by giving anything more. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you really parent rockets and satellites. And I'm so happy to see so many eminent women scientists teaming up with, it's such a teamwork of men and women today. And that's giving a very good message to the young girls around the country. And that's what's encouraging them to opt for STEM more and more. How do you feel? Share with us the feeling when your mindfully created satellite and rockets leave you. And how do you feel? Because you're really a parent of that equipment.
Ma'am, your first point about women working with us is really, really interesting. And we have typically around 25% of women scientists in our organization. They're still not the 1/3 or 50%. They are still far away, but really 25%. And that's typically very high compared to many other scientific organizations where women percentages are much lower. And we are very happy and proud about that aspect. Even for Chandrayaan-3, I must tell you that I have taken stock of how many people are working, women scientists are working, and really got amazed to see large number. I got a list of hundreds. These are the top level scientists working for Chandrayaan-3 across different centers. And they are at the top level. The next in command, the first and second in command is a lady. The first, of course, happened to be a male. But the earlier mission, Chandrayaan-2, that was a woman scientist who was heading that project. So, and we give them the possibilities to acquire, grow to higher positions. And this is something really wonderful. And the second point you mentioned about the connect, as you mentioned, I believe that as a mother, as a woman, you have the connect to between the bearing a fruit of your labor as a child being grown. Though I am a male, I don't have that experience of creating something myself. But then I had the fortune to create a rocket myself. I still remember when I joined one of the rocket project, building rocket of the current rocket which sent the Chandrayaan-3, which I was the project director for the first launch. I still remember I made those original drawings of it when I was writing the project report. It's just on a small sheet. You just imagine, sketch it and make the drawing for the project report. And after 10 years, I'm seeing it standing, 10, 11 years or so. I'm seeing it standing at the launch pad. It weighs 640 tons, huge, massive rocket, and ready to lift off. And when I look at it as a project director, I feel so proud. Something that you conceived in your mind as a sketch or a drawing today takes shape as a rocket and then stands before you mighty and ready to go. It gives such a fulfilling feeling within your mind. This is really wonderful. And just for these feelings, we are here in this organization. And that takes you to do wonderful things.
जी सर आपने लॉन्च वर्ड यूज करा तो मन में ये आ रहा है कि हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज फॉर पेरेंट्स टू रिफ्लेक्ट, क्योंकि आप इसरो की वही एक स्ट्रेंथ है. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लेगेसी आर वी लीविंग फॉर आवर चिल्ड्रन, एंड legacy not just materialistically, sir, but how well have we as parents launched our own self holistically? How important is it to reflect? Ji, sir.
No, I always looked at parents and child in a manner that you have to set examples by yourself. If you cannot do that, I think you can't be talking about as a good parent. In fact, as a child, I greatly benefited from my father, who used to be an avid reader of books, and he has been providing quite large number of books in my childhood for me to read. And I would have read almost everything at that time before I passed my schools. The world literature, most of the science, the travelogues, not my regional language. Almost everything I read in Malayalam, not in English at that time. But the world literature, mostly I was able to read because of his influence. And he also had a passion for science and technology. Though he was a teacher of Hindi, he was so much a passion for science and technology. And he brought so many books in astronomy and science, which I read in my younger days, which created that passion for me. So the first thing which I must tell that you must set examples by yourself. You can't. The whole idea of teaching a child is actually wrong. No, I think I will always say you set an example to yourself. You engage in discussions of topics that will create interest in them, and that naturally will take them to places that will grow within them, knowingly, unknowingly, the passions. I think you could have seen that the children of great musicians, they naturally turn out to be good musicians. It's because they were given that opportunity of an environment for them to really find out those strengths within. And maybe it need not be that musicians can come out of non-musician parents as well, provided you give them the right type of environment. So the most important element is to create the right type of environment around your children and allow them to explore themselves and then find out what their strengths are. And I believe in all the time that you should push too much into their personality at any point in time. And if you do not do that, I think they will discover. And for that, you need to create an example for yourself.
Yeah,
Ji,
very
sir.
true.
Ji, sir. Thank you. Sir, with your permission, we'll request Ajay, sir, to thank you and express gratitude to you from our behalf, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for graciously accepting our invitation to join the Mindful Parenting session as our esteemed chief guest. It's an absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to speak with you, sir. Your achievements and contributions to the field of space exploration are truly inspiring. As the chairman of ISRO, you have led the organization with remarkable vision and dedication, guiding it to reach unparalleled heights in the realm of space technology. Today, you spoke about parenting, leadership, about rocket science. When we were chatting before the session, you very casually said rocket science is an ordinary science. So that it's that casual to you, but for us, it's rocket science. Your wisdom, your expertise, and your profound insight has inspired and empowered parents, children, us to practice mindful and compassionate parenting. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Our
Now,
parents are all.
can I introduce the parents, Sainaji?
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, extremely grateful to you, sir. Extremely grateful to Somnath, sir. Thank you. And our best wishes, sir. We are praying, sir. We are praying with you. We are praying with you. We are with you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, all of us, we are with
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We can let you go, sir, because we know there's a lot of work awaits you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me thank all of you for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ji, sir.
Thank you so much.
Ji.
May God be with you.
Yeah.
Ji.
Now it's time to introduce our guest parents. Welcome, Mr. Rajivan and Mrs. Meera Rajiv, and thank you for joining us in this mindful parenting session.
It's a pleasure.
Your presence is truly an honor, given your remarkable backgrounds and extensive experience. Mr. Rajiv's journey with degrees in engineering and MBA, along with his leadership roles at Infosys, GE, and Philips, brings a wealth of knowledge to our discussion. His expertise in IT-enabled business, healthcare, and academics will provide valuable insights to parents seeking guidance and nurturing their children's growth. And coming to Meera's impressive 2 decades career in the IT sector, marked by strategic accomplishments and a patent in process for estimation of large outsourcing deals in IT, showcases her expertise. As the program director for Vidyadhan, her dedication to empowering India's youth through education and mentoring is truly commendable. Her efforts in championing initiatives for women's participation in the workforce add an essential perspectives to our session. Now it's time for playing a video about our guest parents. Sainaji, please. And my first question to Mr. Rajiv and Mrs. Meera, what does it mean to be a successful parent, and how can parents measure their success beyond traditional markers?
You want to start there? Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just start here.
Yeah, thank you for giving us an opportunity. So we have two boys, the elder one, a doctor and a lawyer, and the younger one is a lawyer, is argumentative most of the time, but he once said that, Acha and Amma, you really got lucky with us, because we never got called for any issues at school. We did not have to run behind them for studying or performing well. They did their path themselves. The elder one found his partner by himself, and we never ran into severe roadblocks throughout our parenting journey. So the way we would like to measure success, I feel very happy when, not just by the fact that I'm very proud of the fact that they are doing very well in their career, but I also would like to share two examples, which made us really very happy and proud. The first was when the Kerala flood happened. My son, elder one, Srinath, was working in Manipal at the time, and he volunteered to go to Kodagu during that extremely difficult time. He volunteered to go there. Okay, and though it was very dangerous. So that was one instance. And second was when my younger son, during COVID lockdown, he just managed to, he had just joined a firm in Mumbai, and he was working there and just start of the career. But then because of COVID, he came back to home. And but for that entire 8 months where he was not in Mumbai, he still paid his Didi, who was doing the work, her full salary without us saying anything. So these kind of values and that they displayed, I think we are very, very proud of that, more than the fact that they have become, one is getting to be a neurologist and the other one is a lawyer. They studied in very good institutes in India. Okay, so that is very important for us, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. So I think Ajay, he started. First of all, Ajay, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be in this platform today and in the panel. I think parenting is not a role which stops any time. That's what I think, because though you do the role of a parent with your own children, but today I am teaching in universities where I think most of the time it is not a core subject I teach. I spend a lot of time practically doing the parental role, sometimes to guide them, advise them to take their life journey forward. And that is the second part of parenting which I have been doing. And we have a grandchild, and he stayed with us for almost 1.5 years before he moved back along with his, my elder son and his wife. So that time also it was more of a parenting role. I think the journey never stops. And the core aspect, I felt every child is unique, every boy and girl is unique, and there is nothing uniform across. You can advise them. You need to understand them and guide them properly than actually controlling them. Then I think that is the kind of role I always enjoy doing with my own children too.
Yes. Okay. I believe that parents. Many people say that I am the best friend of my child and all that. But I believe that more than being the best friend of your child, you can be friendly with them, but I think you should not be the friend, because you have a lot more roles and responsibility as a parent to guide them, to correct them, and to listen them, and sometimes we may have to take decisions on their behalf when they are really small. Okay, but whereas with a friend, it's not like that. So I think many times parents today, I see that they are afraid to take a tough stand with children when it is required. So we can be tough, but we should also be willing to listen to them, trust them, so that communication channel is always open between the two. Then I always feel that they should come to us when they have a problem. not just when they're happy about something. Then we know that they trust us, and we also will be able to make sure that they are not in major trouble, things like that.
So Rajiv and Meera, then how can parents balance guiding their children while allowing them to make their own decisions and learn from mistakes? So it's very easier said than done. So do you have anything to share with us on this?
I think it will change as we make the journey. So in the initial days, probably we have always involved them in the decision making. In the initial days, it was mostly 70-80% the parents will make the decision, but we still involved them. Would you like to do this? Would you like to do that kind of thing? And when they grow up, then this ratio shifts. And I'll give example of when Srinath was trying to see which college to join after medical entrance examination. Those days there were multiple entrance tests he had to take. And then I remember sitting with them and gave them a decision matrix. What is important for you? The 3-4 important factors, what you would help you in making decision, you please identify them and then rate the colleges on all these parameters. So he did that. We actually took him to visit couple of campuses so that he gets a feel of how the thing is. And then the decision that he took finally, it was his own decision. And then we also told them that he joined AFMC. And we also gave them that, he was like 17 or 18 at that time. And the decision that you take at that time may not be the right decision for you. So we gave them a safety net, if at the end of it, if you still want to continue in the army, armed forces, please continue. Otherwise, there is an option to come out of it. That decision you can take at the end of it. So I think it is important for us to provide that safety net. Whatever happens, we are with you. If you provide that, then they will start making their own decisions. At the end of the day, like Mr. Somnath was saying, our job is to make sure that they can be launched independently to their own orbit. So.
Yeah, I think I just add on one point to Meera what she said. It even journey starts much earlier. I remember when we were living in US for a couple of years. So I remember when my second boy was hardly in second grade at that time, second standard. So he had some small trouble. Then we took him to a pediatrician, and pediatrician gave him a very nice way of making him understand what should be done, because he was not eating well and he was looking very weak. So pediatrician told him that, young gentleman, the way they address him there, young gentleman, it's your decision to eat what you want. So you go to the store along with your parents and tell parents, this is what I would like to eat if it is not harmful to you. And pick up those items and make sure that's available at home for you to eat. But if you don't eat, your parents are not going to push you. But you have to take a decision how much to eat, what to pick, and what time you need to eat. So I think the journey started much earlier than when they get into a teenage. So I think that is something which we always try to do, that make them to go through the process of identifying themselves and their strength and take a decision by their own. Even my elder boy, Dr. Boy, he was an excellent tennis player in his school days. Oh. And I know Bedi was a fantastic player, but nowhere near to that. School days, he was circuit winner, and he was also an excellent badminton player. Both rackets were difficult to play both sport at one go, but he was very good. But the next challenge was he has to do it good in the academics. So it was his call to take it. It was his decision. Finally, he took a decision. Let me try to focus on academics. We never pushed him for academics. He himself identified his strength is more in academics, and he moved from tennis to badminton. So he's a fantastic badminton player now. So I think end of the day, it helps them to look back and say, yes, I took the decision, and whatever goes right, he will own it, and he owns it today. And second boy also goes through the same process. Yeah.
And we actually tell them, there is nothing like right decision or wrong decisions. Whatever decision you take, you make it right for you. So give them the confidence that if something goes wrong, we are with them. And I would also like to add, like Rajivan mentioned earlier, I'm also involved with this Vidyadan program, where I'm working with thousands of children from across India. They are really smart, but they don't have much opportunity because they come from economically backward families. Okay, what I have observed is that, I mean, in terms of skill, in terms of their will to win, nobody to beat them. Okay, and because they come from such difficult backgrounds, what I have observed is that if there is somebody, their parent, either parent, if they support the child, then the chances are that they will succeed, especially in the case of girls. If the father in the family is supportive or is not abusive, I would say, which we see in that, among those children, that's a very different, difficult situation for many of them. If the father is very supportive, then the girls have a lot more confidence in themselves, and they are the ones who will complete the graduation, who will go to college, and who will work, follow their dreams. And and mothers, I mean, I have seen a mother carry the child in her hand because the child cannot get out of it. She carried the boy and came to our test center so that he could write the test to get into a scholarship program. So these are, I mean, they are parents, nobody says a good word to them, but bringing up children who are not, whom we call differently abled, that is a huge challenge. And so, like he was saying, when we start comparing your children with other children, we have to really start thinking about the kind of challenges that these parents go through.
जी
May I ask,
जी
Saina?
मैम जी मैम
You wonderfully talked about the father's role. Meera, you talked about father's role in the growth of the child, right?
Yes.
Do we have any places where father mentoring, father parenting, father's counseling, father grooming is going on? Mothers are natural mothers, but fathers are not natural fathers. Some of them, they are not natural. Mother is biologically related to the child. Naturally, her heart. See, when she feeds the child is closest to her heart. Between the two breasts is her heart, and the child is linked to the heart. So the mother doesn't need that much of staying, be compassionate, be caring, but what about the father? Because father's connecting affection with the child and the growth of the girl. Are we conducting any parenting counseling sessions exclusively for the fathers? And if they are they listening?
I think that's a great question and great point, because in our society, the role of a father is expected to be that of a provider and that of a mother to be the primary caregiver. I think it is, to a large extent, it can be groomed. I'll give you from our example. Okay, so when my children were really small, like till they were 6 years, both of us were in demanding jobs, but I was still the primary caregiver for the children. If there is a problem, then I was the one who was going to do it, etc. But when we moved to US, that was the first time Rajivan actually spent time with the children, because I had a traveling job at that time. So he took it, and I could really see a huge difference in the way he was addressing and he was communicating after he donned that role. So I believe very strongly that it really helps for fathers, especially. It is not just mothers who are caught in the stereotypes. Even fathers are sometimes caught in the stereotypes. And I think they don't know what they are missing out if they don't actively get engaged in the upbringing of the children. And I think in today's generation, I see my son is a very active parent. I mean, be it changing the diapers or being it in selecting the school, or so there is a lot more interaction among the father and the mother in today's generation, at least in the educated generation, I feel. But I very much agree that if there is a course or a program or a network for parents, for fathers who are the primary caretakers, that will be really, really helpful.
I think Meera, let me add on to this. I think Meera said that, when we moved to US, I'll tell you the role of mine. I used to be full-time in the corporate world before we moved on, and Meera was also in the corporate world. But Meera used to do dual role, mother role, caregiver role, and corporate job. I used to feel very sad because she comes 9 o'clock in the night, and half sleep she feeds the children, and they were waiting sometime. In the night also, when they wake up, she will get up and help them out. And I used to get sound sleep when I was in Bangalore days in the corporate world. No problem because mother is there. But when I moved to US, I'll tell you what exactly this role changed. We always say working woman and homemaker, all those words I don't even believe now, because I'll tell you my role changed. I moved on sabbatical completely. Meera was full-time on a corporate job on travel in US at different states. I was completely a homemaker, taking care of children, giving them food, giving them a small baby. Sometimes it requires a bath. I used to do that. And there was no diaper change required, let me tell you that. But that stage was over. But I realized that an insight that a man also can do it. It's a society what actually made him to be away from that. When the situation came in, I started doing it, and I realized, of course, I had multiple times called up Meera when she was in another, city for work. Meera, I'm going mad. This young kid is troubling me a lot. This is the statement you say. Don't worry, don't shout. She will be all right. He's like that only. So, but 2 years later, I also started realizing that, my approach towards the boys changed. With that learning, when we came back to India, the connect became much stronger. And I feel good at this stage to say that openly. Yeah, I think that probably answers the questions of Betty, ma'am.
I think children didn't get you lucky. You made them lucky by what you did. And the luck came to you. I think you made the luck happen by Rajivan changing his role, and Meera, you continued to become a provider. You see how you beautifully switched. You became the father and he became the mother.
Yeah.
So basically, you were both switching your roles according to the times.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It did not. It was not a planned thing when we started our journey, but it just happened.
Let me add on. I think, there is a lot of social pressure when you do that. In Indian context, a man doing completely the, homemaker role and the lady doing the, the provider role, I think that's a big task, which I think people should go through as a part of their life process. That will make a big difference in the parenting role. I strongly believe that. Now, I see my son doing it. I'm very happy he's doing it, cleaning up everything, helping the baby. I think they learned it.
Why I raised this for you, Meera and Rajiv, is because you are into community work. You are into community work. You are into education, skilling. So if you can probably look at this concept of father parenting, switching roles, and understand and resisting social pressures, and emerging to have strong parents, children, boys and girls. I think that's the reason I pointed out, because you are in that position.
Yes.
If we can create some systems of parenting parents, mindful parents. That's why we brought this program, Mindful Parents, where we're not saying mindful mother, we're not saying mindful father, we're saying mindful parenting, and that's what Ajay is all about. Mindful parenting, and that's exactly what you did, and that's why you got lucky. You got lucky.
Yeah.
Thank you.
जी, हीरा मैम, आपने ये बात बोली कि the children must feel safe coming to you with their problems. They must come to you with their problems. मैम, ये एक बहुत बड़ा point है, because then they will come and share their heart with you. They will come and share their day with you. They'll come and share all their thoughts with you. But how important is it for a child to feel truly safe while sharing everything with you? The trust has to be built, because as a parent, if we share the talk with our extended family or our friends or any other support system of ours, it doesn't work. the child is trusting you. The child is trusting the parent to pour the problem out. And how important it is not to judge the child by the problem and not get critical about it, but stand by the child. Jeeva.
No, that's a very difficult and very sensitive issue. I think we have to listen to them continuously. It is a continuous process. It is not that you come and talk to me only when you have a problem. It is a continuous process where you communicate with each other. And so that when they come with a problem, the child should know that we are on their side, we are with them. They may not always get the solution that they wanted, but they will understand that we are with them to address that issue. Okay, so that comes that trust. And you talked about the extended family and all that. So we have tried to cultivate that relationship between our children and the extended family. So we had sort of an open house culture. I mean, at any when they were really small, we were in a different city. My parents and Rajivan's parents were in Kerala, so we really had to depend a lot on Akkas and who came to take care of them. So and then when the Rajivan's parents moved in with us, we made sure that relationship was good. They had a separate relationship with them. So that was also, we had to encourage. There were some teething troubles, we just made sure that by choice we put only one TV. Everybody from my mother-in-law to my younger son had to watch everything in the same TV. Though we could have bought two, we made a conscious decision not to do that. They have to learn to share with things. And so then they spend time with them, so they started having their own equations. So when they grew up, they realized what to tell them, what to tell us, so that kind of relationship, they are able to navigate those relationships.
And I think one more point, I'll tell you, Meera said continuous journey. And I really appreciate Meera's one factor she used to insist. After my job at my GE office or Wipro office, I used to carry my badminton kit in my car. I go to the club, play, and come at around 9:30 in the night. By the time children go to sleep. So Meera said that won't work. You get up in the morning and go and play. Evening, you have to be here whenever you are in town for a meal together along with the children. So that helped us to have a continued interaction. They start opening up. So whenever there was small issue, they talk to us all the time. So therein we were able to guide them in terms of values or some suggestions or some input. So never they were put into a guilt mode or a mode of feeling bad from their end. So they open up when there are genuine issues too. I think it's a continuous journey. It doesn't happen by one sitting, two sittings kind of stuff. The second point, as Meera said, I remember my mother, who used to local language Malayalam serials, but she was very happy with that. My father always liked only English news or Malayalam news because he was a judge. So he retired yet never liked all the serials. My mother, typical homemaker, she liked all this fancy serials of Bollywood and Malayalam world. So my son used to sit along with, and I used to wonder whether he will also start listening the serious story and he will inculcate the culture. So Meera said, leave it, man. So he will learn what not to listen, what to listen. So later on, I saw after a few months my mother watching European soccer along with my young son. And so that's the kind of bonding started happening in the house.
And I'd just like to add on the safety aspect, especially it's very relevant for today's children and young parents also. When our children were younger, the electronic media, the computer access, it was just the beginning. Probably they were I remember they were in 8th or 9th when they started having the mobile phone and all that, and those were not hi-fi phones as of today, but in the beginning, till I got confidence that they were using it, I can be very frank here, I used to shamelessly look at it, what was happening, once in a while, just to make sure that they were not getting into trouble. Okay, but then when they grew up and when I was confident that they were able to handle it on that, I have never done that. Okay, and we used to keep the computer, the PC, in a common place, so that is what everybody would come and use, so because phones those days did not have all the facilities today. So I think in today's world, parents have to be savvy about technology, using technology. You have to have those parental controls in place, so that they don't know what they are getting into. They will be pushed into a lot of things because through peer pressure, and we will not even be aware of it. So many cases of online bullying and things like that, which we have not experienced. We will not understand it till the issue happens. So I think that is something, like parenting workshops should also talk about how to manage this world, which is very, very connected, and children get exposure to a lot of things which did not happen in our time or childhood.
How much, so much. Praveen may have a question.
Praveen ji, yes, please share your thoughts.
Yeah, it's like a quick question. It's like, so Rajiv and Meera, you have been working with people and parents of different, because you were in a corporate job and now into the community activities you are doing. So have you noticed any difference between the way people parent, the people who are well-educated, well-exposed, traveled across, that's one category. The other group is like, less exposed, less educated, and less traveled. So is there any difference in the way these two groups approach parenting?
I don't think everybody is the same, but there are some general practices that I see. I think the high achieving parents are really can be very pushy, and they may be after, it's like helicopter parenting, you can see that more in the high achieving parents. Okay, and on the other side, with the children whom I handle with in the social sector, there the issue is lack of awareness. Even they push the children, but they sometimes put their dreams as the child's dream. When you talk to the children, I mean, that is something when we do the interview, say, what do you want to be? The common answer is, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be an IAS officer. And why? It's because that's the only positions of power that they have seen, or because my father wants me to be a doctor, or my mother wants to be an IAS officer. That is their wish. Forget that. I mean, children who don't have basic marks in mathematics, the parents think that they should put them in engineering college by paying 2 lakhs to a coaching institute so that they will get into IIT. They are willing to sell the land or whatever little property they have and put it, because they are misguided. They are not aware of what are the opportunities out there. They are influenced by the community or the society, which is, oh, my friend's friend got a job abroad, so IT is the only way to go, or engineering is the only way to go, that kind of thing. So I think that is where I see the difference. But in terms of the affection or the care, I really think both are very much involved and interested in the growth of the children. But I do see many parents, especially fathers, in the children that I handle with, who are not taking care of the family financially, and because of alcoholism and other issues, there are a lot of challenges that these children go through.
True.
जी, प्रवीण जी, your thoughts आज के बारे में, आज के सेशन के बारे में कुछ बोलेंगे? Then we take it to Ajay sir.
And I think I will make it very short. So I think, it's so glad to listen to all talking about different ways of very successfully parenting children and moving forward. And the analogy you did between the rockets and parents were very, very meaningful as well. I think as part of Lifeology, so we work with school children and help them find the right career plan for that. That's on one side. On the other side, we also work with people who are searching for jobs, and many of those people are kind of people who had a career break, or the women who are after parenting their children, so now they are searching to trying to get a job and all. So we got I personally got an opportunity to interact with these two groups, like the children as well as parents. the biggest problem I have seen is like, because I'm just taking the other side of parenting, which is not very good. It's like, the parents are under very high pressure because the world is getting extremely competitive to get into a job and grow within the job and earn from a job, and a lot of layoffs happening. So the mood in the employment world is not really, really positive. It may be positive inside the office, but during the chit chats or the cigar corners or during the coffee shops, it's not very positive. It's like, in the high profiles and the low profiles, it's like the job is kind of, the people are having a very negative mood that something is not happening very well around. That is one thing. Second, financially, there is a pressure on top of parents to win bread for family and also to send children for education, which is getting extremely costly nowadays with many of the institutions. And then professionally, economically, financially, and then socially in many part of India, socially as well. So the pressure on top of parents to meet two ends together and move every day forward is kind of very heavy. And, they don't even get real time to think about, am I doing the right thing in parenting? So am I really parenting, in the right sense? So am I really showing justice to my kids? They don't even get time to think about it because they deprioritize this activity very less and, get carried away by the other busy schedules in their life. So not intentionally, but the situation are taking them forward like that. At that time, for the last around, I think the word parenting is into conversation. So maybe in the last decade, it's like, and increasingly it is getting more and more important. So that is sometimes coming as a pressure on top of parents, like, which is creating a guilt feel in their mind that I'm not doing anything to my children. So this is kind of a complex loop, whereas the parents are having a lot of pressure in their mind, economically, politically, socially, financially on one side. Second, they are getting a guilt feel that I'm not parenting children in the right way. And adding on top of this, there is no right ecosystem to guide them properly. So other than some, independent, standalone, small initiatives. So I think it is high time, because when we talk about parenting, we think about helping children. So that is really great. But at the same time, I think it is very high time to, come up with a proper institutional mechanism and structure and system to help parents. Because I could see that the parents are in extremely real challenge or trouble. And the more we talk about parenting, I could see that the guilt feel in the mind of parent is increasing. So that is adding more on top of everything, that is making them more stressed. And where they will burst out the stress. They burst out the stress on top of children, which is again creating the guilt feel. It's kind of a loop, because we all understand there is a power difference within the families. So the parents are more powerful because they have the control on the finance, they have the control on the home, they have control. Because I have seen many parents saying that you go out of my home. So when they're yelling at children, because at the bottom of the heart, so they do think that it is their home. And then who are children? So there is kind of a power difference inside the home. So what happens? So that negative feeling of economic, finance, employment kind of pressure, and the guilt feel of they're not parenting well increases a stress in the mind of parents, and they start yelling at children, and that again come back to their mind as a guilt. So I think many parents in the society may burst out, because of the pressure they are going through. So I think, so if we need to support children, it is high time to support parents to, to manage their life better, so that once they manage their life better, I think they will be managing things in a better manner. So that's one perspective I want to bring onto the table. I think Ajay, following to this, I have a question to Ajay as well. So because I think Ajay will be speaking after this. So Ajay got one of the most, a very prestigious award recently, so the most, I think the most influential authors to watch out for by the Enterprise World Magazine. So, why I bring this award onto the table is like, of late I have seen that Ajay is, crazy about writing about a lot of things about human.
We are running out of time. Running out of time.
One more sentence.
Program has to start in another few minutes.
I know, 10 seconds. So I want to know from Ajay, what keeps you right and how you manage your time in doing this, your office work and your parenting activities. Over to you, ma'am. 10.
Yeah. Thank you, Praveen. Actually, the award, the recognition, also the credit goes to you because you are my co-author. And actually, what drives me to continue pursuing my passion for writing is a belief in the transformative power of communication through books, words, and conversations. Actually, books have the ability to transcend boundaries, cultures, and time, offering a medium for sharing knowledge, emotions, and experience. As Rajiv in our conversation now rightly mentioned, also Somnath sir, that in their childhood, their parents used to give them books, and they read all kinds of books. So reading is one of the key thing, and what we are reading is also very important in parenting. We learn from ma'am how how fathers has to be trained as parents, because for moms that comes natural, and for us as father, it's I don't think it is natural. We have to acquire the skill of parenting. We learned today about trust. We learned about communication. So all of this, I think parenting is also leadership. That's the conclusion that I arrive at, and I think I answered. And we don't have enough time today. So, ma'am, over to you.
Ji, ji. Ajay ji, thank you and many congratulations for
Thank
what
you. Yeah.
Praveen ji said. Thank you for your kind words, Praveen ji, and thank you to our lovely guest parents. Ji, we conclude today's session before ma'am gives the closing remarks. Leave a legacy of love and care for your children. Hand over keys to them. Don't hand over bolted doors, chains, locks. Hand over keys to your children. Think about this, what it means to hand over keys to your children. Think about it. Ji ma'am, ji mami.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. It's been very, very inspiring listening to Rajiv and Meera. I think our objective of this program has been fully met. I want to thank Ajay and Praveen for having, and Rahul behind the scene for identifying such illustrious parents for this program. I'm sure all the listeners have benefited by all the practicalities and real parenting shared by Rajiv and Meera. I only would like to conclude by saying you are both of you in a very good position to start parenting institutions or parenting programs. Your personal experience. And I think that could spread. But somewhere we have to make the beginning. It's like, as Ajay said, the father has to really learn to be a mother. And just as mother has to learn to be a father. Both have to they have to learn the roles. And the more they learn each other's role, better parenting happens. Yes. And you are in a great position since you're involved you're coming from corporate organized world and now into community giving so much. I think if you can add that component in your community work, the society will benefit. Thank you so much, Ajay, and thank you, Saina.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Thank you, Praveen ji. Thank you, Ajay ji. Thank our audience.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Jai Dhari Ma. We thank our audience. We thank all of you. Thank you. Jai Dhari Ma.